peace. May peace prevail within us. May peace prevail around us. May peace prevail around the world. Peace, peace, peace. Gently rub your palms together. Place them over the eyes and wipe the face. Raise both the arms over the head. Take a deep breath. Bring your hands down and open your eyes gently. Be blessed by the divine. We now move on to the inaugural address. On behalf of Sky Yoga Online, I extend a warm welcome to the guest speaker of today's session, Arulnidhi Mr. Manoj Manivannan, who's here for a special address on the topic managing expectations. Expectations are part and parcel of our everyday life. They come naturally in all sorts of different forms, sizes, and nature. Walking in the strides of our Guru, Swamiji Vedatri Maharishi, here is Arulnidhi Shri Manoj Manivannan sir from Chennai to impart his insights on managing expectations effectively. It is indeed a great pleasure in introducing Sir. He is working in a US based IT pharma company. He got introduced into WCSC in the year 2000 and has got 25 years of experience to his credit. In the year 2003, Sir got the privilege to meet Swamiji at Aliyah. It is remarkable to say that he is blessed to have his mother, wife, and his kids associated with Sky Yoga. His noble aim is to impart Sky to many people as possible and to contribute for world peace. We have such a service minded person with us. And now, may I kindly invite our guest speaker, Arulnidhi Manoj Manivannan, to address the gathering and enlighten us with a special address on the topic managing expectations. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Be blessed by the divine. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So the topic of managing expectation, Swamiji has given multidimensional information towards managing expectations. So when it comes to expectation, it's more like how I wanted another person as like how I think, or might be the actions what the other person is trying to perform is trying to be more like what I'm thinking. So that's how the expectation start building for every individual. So I would divide this into at least 2-3 parts. Expectations from the family members, expectation from the colleagues or might be the peers or subordinates, and expectations from the society. So if I need to first explain about the expectation from the family, because the expectation more starts from the family, right? So when it comes to spouse, it starts from the minimal expectation to an imaginary expectations. So Swamiji also have explained in one of the book about imaginary expectations. So first let me start with the basic expectation when it comes to the family. Spouse, we all know that the moment the person get married, and after that started getting into the family life, and the person starts with certain expectation right from the morning till end of the day. So when it comes to the preparation of the food, and when it comes to the requirement of serving, taking care of the parents, so everything has got certain expectation, isn't it? I think everybody would have come across such kind of a situation. So I won't say that I'm an exception there. So I also had certain expectation before I was into this, uh, before I was associated into it. Expectation starts is more like uh, how I wanted the preparation of food to be, and at the same time, how I expect, if I feel that this is what the discipline approach is about, and I expect the same from another person, not looking at the other person has got his or her own interest, is her own way of thinking. So that kind of an understanding. So not that we all have got it. So it starts. Number one is by with a spouse, and if the expectation is not met, when it comes to an expectation, we all need to understand and agree that it always goes to a disappointment, right? Many a times, if you take, so it goes to the stage of disappointment, and it also goes to the stage of conflict, hatred, and depression sometimes. So all those things, if you closely look at it, the basic is more like the ground, or might be the root. If you go, if you look at it, it starts with the expectation. So there are many parts to it. When it comes to a joint family, or when you're with your parents, we expect the spouse to be taking care of our parents, right? So I'm just taking the example. There's nothing to relate with anyone else here. It's more just it comes with certain expectation, and try to forget on many a times that the person who is coming to our family, the person is leaving their family and coming to our home. So we'll have to give some space and try to understand that it is not something the person would be immediately uh, understand what the practice we are following, and then the day one or day two the person would be able to do it. We'll have to understand that kind of we have to understand that. So that kind of a maturity understanding is not there with us before I was associated in this center. And next it goes to the children, right? So many a times we think that children are all return on investment, right? Isn't it? We all agree that. So it's more an investment we make on our children by making them studying, and in return, what we expect is like, so they have to uh, share some of the responsibilities of sharing the responsibilities are still fine, but it goes to an expectation. It's mandated that they will have to do one, two, three, four, five, six kind of a steps because I did all what I, as a parent, to my child. That comes another expectation. So this is, and even when they are growing right from the beginning, it's more like we try to make sure that our children are aligned to what I'm thinking, right? So that again goes to an expectation. So which means that expectations are more and more, I would say that first with the family, and then it goes to the society. When I'm saying society, I would still say that first I will begin with the neighbors. So if the neighbors are somewhere, if they are in good relationship with you, which means that there is a good exchange happens among yourself, then it means that you're good. So even when it comes to any kind of programs or any kind of celebrations which are happening outside, the gifts what we are giving, I know that as we all would have come across, right? The gifts or might be anything which we try to present to another person. It comes with an expectation that in return, someday or the other, we would be getting it. So I think that kind of a mindset, we all have it. So, and when it comes to the colleagues, and it's always in the organization, we all know that. So we have to, it's been told in many a times in our programs, not in our Skype programs, in more of organizational programs, set the expectation with your colleagues, set your expectation with a client, set your expectation with your subordinates. So those are more something you're staging among those people. See, organizations, I would still say that it's because more like the service you are doing it because you're paid for it. At times you have to set certain kind of an expectation so that you know that you're getting that delivery done. So before I get into the organization related things, right? So let's come to the family back again, because that is what contributes around 70 percentage of uh, the expectation which is getting built within our mind. Many times we try to skip the understanding of the duty. So it is more our responsibility or might be our duty to take care of our spouse, and at the same time to take care of our children and our parents, right? So those kind of an understanding we will try to get only when we follow the spiritual practices, or might be we can call it as a benevolent path, or might be we can also call it as karma yoga, right? So if we have that kind of an understanding of karma yoga, so then we always try to think in such a way that whatever we are doing it's more our duty and our responsibility. So let's try to think in a way that, so you expect your spouse to prepare certain things, right? So for some reason, if the preparation is not something what you are expecting, what happens actually? So it gets into a disappointment. That is the first stage. So when it comes to a disappointment, what happens to the next stage? So automatically you will get into the next stage of anger, and there's a conflict happening, right? This is how the disruption happens in the family. So it might be something which is already pre-planted onto your mind that, okay, this is what I expect. So it ends in a situation where the conflict or might be the anger, which actually creates a problem to ourselves, which problem creates to ourselves and to our family and to the society. So anything which is creating problem to ourselves, what happens is like it also gets spread to the family. So on such situation, when when you know that it is not something what you're expecting, first expectation itself will have to be will have to widely think about it, right? So when we are when our spouse is there, so, and at the same time it's our responsible to give some space to our spouse and make sure that uh, the person is given all kind of liberty to do and the way how she wants it, right? So it is not something the other person should be based on what you wanted. So then it means automatically your ego comes in picture. So when you wanted another person to lead a life as like how you wanted, then it means that your ego comes in picture. So when your ego comes in, then automatically your aggressiveness and possessiveness also start coming in. So it starts from yourself, right? So when that is what many a times in Swamiji would have already told about it. The ego is one major difference between human and also the divinity or might be the God. So man minus ego is nothing but the divine is about. So the ego is what which is building our within ourself, and then it gets into a stage of aggressiveness. And if we understand the reality that the person does for us, the person does the job for us, and giving some space for another person, then you don't have any kind of an expectation, isn't it? So it starts with the introspection practice, what Swamiji had said on multiple sessions. So it is not because as humans we have come with multiple imprints. So all our imprints have come from generations from to generations, right? So those imprints also play a very critical role when it comes to such kind of a behavior. So that is why many a times here in this group we would have Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so that is why many a times in this group here we would have said about introspection, meditation, and also the physically maintaining the physically exercise. So our intellect is getting destroyed because of all these emotions getting carried away on your mind. If you don't have such kind of an emotional disturbance or might be distractions happening because of this, then you will see the true intellect within yourself. So we ourselves are destroying our intellect by carrying all these emotions within ourselves. So it is not something which is happening by another person. So there's no point in blaming another person, saying that, hey, you destroyed, or might be, I'm getting distracted because of another person. It's more of your reaction to the situation that is what is creating and killing you. And that is what is reducing your intellect. If you know how to operate yourself, then so there is no situation of you getting into an emotional state, and at the same time you getting into a distracted state. um, I just wanted to give you few information which I just taken as a notes from Swamiji's lectures, right? So that I don't I try to give as much as the message what Swamiji had sent on many occasions. um, Swamiji has defined expectation is nothing but a result of unexpected ego. So that is what, as mentioned earlier. So the ego is what something which creates, which makes us to create an expectation. That includes our children too. That includes our parents too. So when many a times we have noticed that there's always a kind of a conflict which happens between in-laws and also between the spouse, and so we have noticed many a times. So that's because number one is that we try to change another person, and we try to inculcate what we wanted another person to do. So that is what is causing it. See, certain things we'll have to understand that uh, we cannot. I would say that we'll have to give some time to change rather than saying that we cannot change. See, people who are here in this group, we know that the practice of what we are doing, it which includes introspection, meditation, and also kaya kalpa. But the person who is not doing it, who is elderly people who are not practicing it, so for those people, it is very difficult to explain to them, or might be it is very difficult to go and uh, go and express what we wanted. So on certain places, that's where your adjustment, tolerance, and sacrifice come in picture, right? So that is one of the tool, I would say that. So rather than saying as a practice, I would say that that is one of the biggest tool which you will have to use it on such instances. Certain places, if you start using the tool of an adjustment or might be the sacrifice, right? So then we know that such kind of a people who try to create some disturbance to you. So when you hold this tool, then there is no way that you're getting distracted or might be getting disturbed. So it's because we personally are getting carried over by all this, and that's where we are getting into all this anger, miserliness, immoral sexual passion, vanity, and vengeance. All those things are coming in picture. We have to be uh, more and more on an awareness state. It's because the awareness state is getting lost. So what is happening is like what was there in the imprints is getting ruled. So that is why we have to do introspection and then do dissipation. I think you all would have heard about it, superimposition, which means you have to constantly make your mind to get tuned, right? So it's more a wave, and if you start doing a superimposition and then start creating another layer of thought on top of it, positive thoughts. Even if some kind of a negative situation happens, then automatically your positive thoughts will make you that make you even more strong, and you will not get confused. So taking an example, right, with your in-laws. So they might be uh, older, I would say that, and for them, uh, they would not understand the kind of work, or might be the kind of responsibilities you have on your family. So for them, it's like, because of their health ailments, so their reaction might be of slightly different. So for them, they feel that they have to be paid attention, they have to be prioritized, so then anything else. So, and we all know that we are working in a culture where we have to do multitasking at this moment. So, which means we have to manage the family, and we have to manage the work, and also outside related activities also. And at the same time, when it comes to the family, spouse, and parents and elderly people, so all those things also we'll have to take care. So, um, and on such situations, that's where I would say that when elderly people, when they are coming with certain expectations, that okay, this is how it is like. So sometimes, when I'm saying, when we try to react to them, better we handle this tool adjustment, adjust tolerance and sacrifice. So then what will happen is, like, then your emotions which are within your body will never be built. See, the expectations what another person is having is not something in your control. So we are not we are not here to make another person not to set the expectations. So another person might have a different expectation to yourself, but we being in this group, first, what we have to understand is, like, the expectations to another person is something how I can eliminate. That is what we should be uh, doing it. And if that happens, all whatever comes from, or whatever happens, so you would be having your intellect, because that is what is making your emotions to be ruled out, right? Isn't it? So once that's not happened, then the anger gets built. So okay, then anger, what happens, it gets carried over for the whole day, or might be even for 2 days, or might be for a week also. So once your mind is getting distracted, so you will always try to show that went out somewhere with your children, or might be in your organization. See how it gets transferred. So it starts with a small a layer, and then it almost destroys an entire building, that, and also the community. So that is how it happens. So if we are able to manage the source, or by the origin of the the stimulation what is coming within our body, so then the layer that is getting built as a building will not happen. So that is why I was just telling, you have to be more aware. You have to be more and more aware on what you're actually thinking and what you're actually doing, right? That awareness is something will come only by practice, and it is not something which overnight it will happen. It will come by practice, and the practice, uh, how we have to do it is more like following all the steps what Swamiji has already mentioned. So doing, uh, cleansing your mind, the only way to cleanse your mind is more like practicing your meditation. And next is like introspection. Practicing the meditation is more for you to reduce, make your frequency coming down. And then once your frequency coming down, so you start, you will start getting interacting, or might be associating with the divine. So and next is more about the introspection. So introspection, right from the thought, or might be even the worry or anger. So all those things, if you start doing an introspection, then uh, you will see the true intellect within yourself. So when it comes to this is more from a family perspective, but when it comes to an organization perspective, because I know that here in this group, there could be many who would also be working in an organization, right? So when it comes to an organization, so we have certain people reporting to us as a subordinates, and there are certain we also report to somebody else, right? So every organization has got certain goals and objectives, and also certain expectations when it comes to the work. So that is something which you cannot change, which means the organization, uh, what the organization has said is something which you cannot change. So that's something which I said even before. Expectation is not something what you're not going and controlling another person not to have build the expectation, have an expectation. It's more what you shouldn't be developing as an expectation within yourself. So that is what something you'll have to manage. So when it comes to an organization, because expectation is a very broader term, everybody will start thinking that it's not that only the family, it also goes to another person, right? That is true, I agree. So when it comes to organization, yes, what is required as our responsibilities, we don't have the control, which means that we still need to follow what is required, but not necessary. You have to do the same for your people whom you are interacting. So that is where you have to be different from the other person who is actually trying to do it. We always try to do it. We always try to cascade. So what my superior have done it, we try to cascade it to our subordinates. So that is what something we do it. So it's almost like, so why I alone will get the beating, let another person also get, isn't it? So many a times we also think that, okay, so why I alone, so let another person also get it. But which means that you have not understood, or might be you're not following the practice what is required, right? So uh, so that is where when your mind understands that, and when you're holding the tool of three what I just said about it, and with your subordinates, if you're not showing, then it means you're not developing anything new. You can list down in a list of paper, in a paper you can just list down what all expectations I have uh, created right from the morning till evening. If you start assessing that, if you look at it very closely on it, so then you will start eliminating one by one, and you will start understanding the root of the expectation, the source of the expectation. So if you start eliminating that, then probably I would say that at one point of time you will not have any kind of an expectations at all. So you will feel that uh, you don't have anything, it's all been eliminated, is what something you will start thinking about it. Just 1 minute, I'm sorry. Okay, so uh, these are all um, the practice which we will have to do it on a given day. So for me I would say that I do certain practices when it comes to the such kind of an expectations, right? Number one is that uh, I always think that uh, Swamiji has also mentioned multiple times, go beyond to an extent to help others without any expectations. If you start thinking on those lines, that includes the family. That includes the family. You're trying to help others, or might be share the responsibility of others, then you will never see that expectation coming onto yourself. So that and helping, it's not only to your family alone, also to the society with no expectation. So that is something we go and nowadays that is what is happening. We go and help, and then what happens is like, and we always think that okay, the other person also should be doing it for us, right? That is what, when another person is not able to do it, automatically what happens is like, that is what is coming onto your mind. See, I did that, but at the same time the other person, that happens also with your friends too, right? So there is no way that that's not called as a help what you're doing to another person. That's not help. So that means that you're doing something and that comes with an expectation. That is not what help. So what help, it means that, so you're going to an extent to support another person, or might be to help another person without having anything zero expectations, right? Without expecting anything from another person. That is what which means a true help means. So if that we are thinking, if that we are doing, then it means that yes, you have managed that very well, I would say that. If you're not if you're not doing that, then it means that you have mismanaged. So then that mismanagement will definitely lead to multiple issues within your body. So I just wanted to bring back again to multiple information which I was just sharing it to you, just to summarize. So number one is that when it comes to expectations, first make ourselves how you're able to manage with your family first. So then you have to move slowly to the organization where you're interact, because these are the set of people we interact more, and then we build a lot of things. And third comes the society. If you're able to handle the first one better, then the second and the third will automatically will follow through, because the more is where, if you're able to address, then the other two is not going to be a challenge at all, right? And very important, keep our mindset very open. It's more a kind of help we are doing to our family, and it's our responsibility to do and support our family. So if we have that kind of an understanding, then there is no way that you will develop that kind of an expectation, right? So that is what Swamiji also had written in that many a times. Expectation, slowly what will happen, it will go to a next stage of imaginary expectation. That is another one which grows slowly. So first, if we are able to offer a help or might be a support, then the first stage itself will not happen, then it will never go to the imaginary part, I would say that. So this, then rest of the things will follows, which includes the anger, miserliness. All those things are something which are more like a child which is getting built from the parent, right? When I'm saying parent and child, it's not the true parent and child. It's more the thoughts which are getting built. That is the parent. From there it goes to the child and child. That's how it gets built. So the before it goes to the next and next stage, the first stage itself, if you're able to manage, then I would say that you don't get the opportunity of going and addressing on to the next and the next and the next child, I would say that. I just wanted to pause here, and then I know that uh, when it comes to this, there are many to discuss about it, expectations. Probably there could be certain questions from people where you wanted to ask, and then we can also discuss and see anything I'm able to answer, or might be of your experience. If there is something you feel like, hey, this is the situation, so when it comes to the expectations, and so how do I handle it? I'm sure that all the solutions are here in this Sky Yoga Center. When it comes to it, it's all something how we take it and then we utilize it. That's what I would say that. So I'll open the floor for any questions. If anybody wants to ask any questions on this specific topic, yes, we can. I will try to answer. If anything, if I don't have an answer, there are senior professors are also here, so they can also additionally contribute in answering your question.
If you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll unmute you. You can introduce yourself and go ahead with your questions.
Okay, so it looks so there are no questions from people. Okay, good to know. Okay, so anybody here in this group wants to share your best practice of um, the introspection, which has helped you on your expectations? Even that is also going to be a message for rest of the people. See, I was just trying to share of my experience and also my scripts from what Swamiji has mentioned about it. There are many parts to it, because everybody will have a different experience when it comes to the information what Swamiji had said about it. Anything you wanted to share related to this, please, you can be open enough in sharing your information to us. That will be a message for others too. Okay, it looks so there are no questions from people. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am, from your end if you wanted to say something. Yes, Manigandan, it looks so you have raised your hand. Yes, Manigandan.
Please unmute.
Uh, uh, be blessed by the divine. Uh, it's a by myself, Manigandan. I am practicing Sky Yoga for a while. I have a question on because we discussed about the expectation, and most of the time we are thinking about the outside expectations. But for a self, what kind of expectation we should have, like for like doing our duties. So I would like to hear more about it. And for the second part, I do a practice of always keeping a transparency on all the conversation. So that will lead me to have a very clear idea about what I am expecting, what I should expect from others. So that is what I want to convey.
Okay, so expectation from yourself, right? So I think from yourself, what you should be expecting. Um, I wanted you to also think in a way more than you think about as an expectation. If you start thinking that that's your responsibility and that is your duty, then the expectation to yourself will not be there. So, taking multiple examples to yourself, if I need to tell you, doing an exercise, that's your responsibility. And at the same time, meditation and other thing and kaya kalpa, that is something which is more of your duty and your responsibility. So you don't need to set an expectation to yourself. See, expectations, it's more like, okay, getting up in the morning 5 o'clock and doing all this, that is more, if you start thinking that is more of your responsibility, then you will not have a disappointment. So that disappointment automatically comes when you think that, okay, I'm setting up an expectation to myself. Hey, I have to do this, do this. If you're not able to do it, what happens is like you get into a stage of a disappointment. So if you think that, okay, it is my responsibility to do it, right? Then you will start realizing that that is my responsibility. Then the disappointment is something which you will not get at all. So many a times that is what is happening. We get into more the aggressiveness when disappointment comes, right? Automatically you will feel that, okay, no, um, you show that you try to vent it out. So that includes your organizational work also. So which means that if you think that the work what has been assigned to you, that is your responsibility to do it, yes, which means that it is not something you're trying to set certain expectations to yourself saying that, hey, this is what, that's something which you'll have to do it beyond your responsibility. If it is so, then probably you can definitely in an organization you would be having a way to handle it. So if you start thinking on those lines, then you will see a difference when it comes to this, the reaction to that. No, you will not be seeing a situation where you get anger and also which leads to other kind of emotional disturbances, right? So it's more like we understanding what when it comes to our body, or might be the physical body and mind needs. If you start looking at it in that way, then you will not call that specifically as an expectation. You will call it more like your responsibility. I'm not sure, Manigandan, this is something gives an answer to you, or you have something as an example which you wanted to share.
Uh, uh, Thanks, Master. Yeah, that is I'm expecting. Sorry to use the word expectation, but
Yeah, yeah, we
yes, you
commonly,
answered it.
right? We
Yeah,
commonly that I
yeah,
mean, see, I'm not surprised because I also work in an
yeah,
organization. When it comes to
yes.
that, it automatically comes, right?
Yeah, and
Expectation.
I just want to share one more thing. Just this morning, I don't exactly remember this morning or yesterday. Sometimes back, I was listening Swamiji's speech, and he was quoting the same thing like in the family we have to have a tolerance, adjustment, and a sacrifice. The moment when you share the same thoughts, I feel like it was so connected. So I
Yeah,
just want to mention that.
sure. Thank you.
And one other practice, what I always try to uh, work with this sky practice is like uh, whenever misunderstanding or whenever miscommunication happens, I always want to be a first responsible person to step in to explain the things or give up the ego, so that way the things will get smoother most of the time. And I also implemented that in a couple of situation, and the situation became very soft after I stepped in. And Maharishi also mentioned in a couple of phrase like being practicing yoga and following the consciousness thoughts, we have to be responsible to step in first instead of waiting for others to get down. So we have to give up that ego at the first point.
Right, that is true, Manigandan. What you're saying, stepping first, which means that's where you are coming out of your ego. Many people they don't do it. It's because ego takes the precedence, and that's one of the reason they don't step in, and then they don't want to go for a compromise, right?
Yeah,
So I'm very happy to hear that you are doing it and you are stepping out, and there is nothing we are losing out of it. So many people they
yeah,
do it, it's because they feel like they are losing something. Hey, I'm losing my respect, I'm losing nothing like that. So many people they do that. They are thinking that by doing that I'm compromising, I'm losing something. That is not something that's not something going to happen. So I'm very happy, and then to hear that you are following that as a practice. So be blessed by the divine. So I think one more hand been raised. I'll shift to Dana, and you can ask your question.
Yeah. Be blessed by the divine. Um, Sorry, I don't have any question, Aya. So I just wanted to share my experience, which I
Mhm.
gained from the introspection
Sure.
sessions, right? Yeah. So actually, everyone knows that we hear, right? Thought creates reality. So I was aware of it earlier, but I don't know. Even though we know that that thought creates reality, but we do not have the control over what we are thinking or what is going on inside our mind, and which creates that as a reality in a real life, right? So I was not able to map that, but after attending this Maharishi's session, so in that analysis of thought session, right? So he provided a clear step by step way how to analyze our thought, which one to encourage, which one to cut off, and if some thoughts we could not come out, so for that he provides that tool or way to how can we get out of that disturbing thoughts and by blessing others, right? So that really helped me to analyze my thought in every way, right, in every day. So in our so we are engaging so many thoughts. In that I'm trying to keep my thought positively, to assess by analyzing my thought I encourage more of positive thoughts in my life, so that helped me to shape my life in a good way. So that is really a useful thing I received from our Maharishi's teaching. So it is More than that, I have gained, but I just wanted to share this simple experience. But everybody in our day to day life, we are struggling to come out of our day to day activities and situations and everything, right? So so this analysis of thought really helps us to mold our life in a good way. So
Sure.
this is a single piece of information I wanted to share.
Thank you. I think that's a good information you have shared. So, analysis of thoughts. We are very happy to hear from you that you are able to get the benefit from Swamiji's session, right? So, along with that, if you can also try to practice silence, right? So, whenever possible, so that will additionally help you on your analysis of thoughts. So, probably you can also, if you're doing it, then it's well and good. If you're not doing it, so just try to see whether you can also follow the silence practice. So that will additionally help you to analyze more on your thoughts. I, I think, ma'am, we have um, taken another 4 minutes. You wanted to say some final message, ma'am?
Yes, I think we can conclude this question and answer session, sir. Thank you all
Okay.
for your participation today. Thank you, Arulnidhi, Mr. Manoj Manivannan, sir, for your enlightening and thought provoking speech. Sir clearly pointed out that one should avoid imaginary expectation and desist from interference in the lives of others and not expect any benefits to oneself. And also, he asked us to sit and introspect. And he also said silence helps in this process. When we render some help and make someone happy, we are directly worshipping and pleasing the Almighty in its living aspect of consciousness. In addition, let us try to use fully our potential and efficiently so we can expand our field of service. Keep the mind with brimming satisfaction and happiness and always assessing ourselves and always be in the I mean to say in the lookout for helping others will bring satisfaction and will help us avoid imaginary expectation. All right. I thank our special guest, Arulnidhi Mr. Manoj Manivannan, sir, for an excellent keynote address, drawing us towards the reality of life, and for his wonderful insights on avoiding imaginary expectations. And thanks for all the participants for making the program successful. Having come to the end of the session, we have some announcements to make. Please visit our website www.kundaliniyoga.edu.in to know more about the courses offered in Sky Yoga. Please refer to the website without fail. Every month we have foundation courses twice starting from 1st and ending on 12th on first part of the month and starting from 6th and ending on 27th on second part of the month. You can refer to your friends and relatives and bring them to the path of peace through Sky Yoga and spread happiness. Sky Yoga online meditation with thought for the day is being held daily at 6 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. IST and 6 a.m. PST. Special lecture is held on all Saturdays at this time. Physical exercise video and KK video is being played in Zoom daily. Kindly join us every day. Kai Kalpa Yoga is taught on second week of every month and certification program on every first Monday of every month. Kindly inform your dear and your ones. Thank you. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you, one and all. Stay blessed.